Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Comrade Stanley Osazo Sakwinokwodim say wetin the Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo dey do for Edo State now no be about the development of Edo State, na about the 2.5 million vote wey wan give Tinubu for 2027. And na dis same 2.5 million vote wey wan give Tinubu na im bring Iyaloja matter come our market for Edo State. Make I leave you, make you hear from Comrade Stanley Osazo Sakwinokwodim. The message we bring come today. Enjoy the video.
But now, in Edo State, I do not think that there exists a blueprint in terms of development. Because what we are mainly doing right now in Edo State is not about the developmental part of it anymore. It's about the 2.5 million votes as promised President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it's also the 2.5 million votes that led to the political debacle that took place not quite long in Edo State, which involved attracting market or dragging the market into political issues that resulted to the Iyaloja political and traditional saga. But that is not the focal point of my discussion. Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. This is Comrade Stanley Osazo-Sakwinokwodim, by the grace of God, is your former Edo State. I'm the Coordinator General, Edo Diaspora Connect Worldwide. I want to welcome you to this afternoon broadcast, which was slated for 12 o'clock. Sorry, don't mind my eyeglasses. I have some little eye pain, so I will not want to expose it to the media. So that is why you are seeing me wearing glasses. Ordinarily, I'm supposed to communicate with my direct face. I know by the grace of God Almighty, my subsequent broadcast, we're not going to be using anything involving glasses. But the topic is very clear as far as this discussion is concerned. What is the blueprint for Edo development? Before I start to discuss about the blueprint, I think from the inception of the Okpebholo's administration, I actually lauded the administration in two perspectives. One, the flyover development, which falls within the purview of my jurisdiction, the Okpebholo, and whether we like it or not, regardless of political affiliation, we agree that that development is a beautiful one. Then the second part of the accolade I reached on the government was the issue of cultism. Whether we like it or not, as of today, cultism is being confronted, and the resultant of the actions of government in that regard is efficacious. But what I've also noticed is that the first 6 months of this government is gradually becoming self-aggrandizement just to prove a point. But I've noticed that the government on its part is also derailing, and the need for us to come out to it quickly, rescue Edo, and also to play an advisory role in ensuring that the government face a direct front in addressing our collective problem. First, when we talk about the blueprint, you must also have a plan on ground, because currently what we see as governance today in Edo State is just like you wake up, think of something, you execute. Even the budget of a state is more or less like a plan of the state for a particular period of time. Sometimes within a period of a year, it depends. Even an industry or an organization has a budget. That does not necessarily mean that the resources is on ground at that particular time, but it's more or less like a plan on what resources will be applied to in addressing the collective interest and destiny of the people or of those involved in either in the case of a state or in the case of an organization. But now, in Edo State, I do not think that there exists a blueprint in terms of development. Because what we are mainly doing right now in Edo State is not about the developmental part of it anymore. It's about the 2.5 million votes as promised President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it's also the 2.5 million votes that led to the political debacle that took place not quite long in Edo State, which involved attracting market or dragging the market into political issues that resulted to the EU Aloja political and traditional saga. But that is not the focal point of my discussion. But I think I have to make a reference to that because the 2.5 million promised vote is gradually creating a problem. And for those who truly love Senator Mondo, well, they should be able to tell him to sit forthwith and face what development is all about. Now, regardless of the resentment we have or whatever, there exists a national physical plan. There also exists a state physical plan. The state physical plan is also known as a master plan. And a master plan has a time limit within the range of 20 to 35 years. And we also agree to the fact that before the expiration of the Obaseki administration, a Edo State Master Plan was launched, which will control the development impulses of Edo State from within the particular time where the Obaseki administration was on ground until a period of 20 to 35 years, which simply means that that blueprint is already on ground, even if the Okpebholo serves the number of terms that it chooses to serve. Certainly, the master plan should be executed stricto sensu so as to ensure positive development in Edo State. But as we speak today, I think we are derailing and we must immediately look inward and jettison politics and go back to actually address the problem militating against our people as stipulated in the national or in the state fiscal plan. I've just defined what a master plan is all about, and I think we have to go into details. My discussion is going to be sector by sector. First, let's look at the land reform and land security. I also think that the state is gradually engaging itself into what we call an economic autopilot. Now, land security. The Edo State government, I saw a press release today where the Edo State government directed that nobody should encroach into property designated to be government land, and that those that actually belongs to the people of Obagi Nebusa and the Okama community will be returned, and others that falls within category A, B, and C within that area that belongs to government should not be encroached upon. That's to tell you that government has the capacity whatsoever to actually protect what rightfully belongs to them. But the question is, does individual has the capacity to also protect what rightfully belongs to them? The answer is no. Where are those documents that is needed for an individual to be able to stand the test of time to say, this property rightfully belongs to me and I have the right whatsoever to take what rightfully belongs to me? I think as far as Edo is concerned, that is gradually derailing, which is the statutory occupancy. I want to give an expo to the Edo State government. The only issues that the people of diaspora have with the Edo State government is CFO. The only issue, because they are not coming here to come and eat or drink. In fact, they are well to do on their own. But the only issue is this, the statutory occupancy, because they are the investors. Let me quickly tell you, you do not need a white man to be an investor in Edo. If we don't have Captain of blessed memory in the past, we will never know that there are black men who have the capacity whatsoever to invest. The color formation is not the issue. You have Edo men and women who are economically viable and competent that can come to invest any amount of money you are thinking that a white man will bring to your state. All they needed is an enabling environment. What involves this enabling environment? It includes but not limited to your security in terms of physical infrastructure, your road network, and also your land reform policy. So I think the Edo State government should immediately, as a matter of urgency, look into this by ensuring that these persons get their documents. Now, again, why did I say that we are gradually derailing? We also agree to the fact that just recently, the Edo State government has decided to jettison revenue generation in the state. This has to also do with the statutory occupancy that ought to be issued to citizens. And again, let's look at revenue generation in the state. Now, we are getting huge amount of money from the federal government. We no longer care of any source of revenue from any corners. What about if peradventure the federal government can bankrupt tomorrow? Are we going to say, okay, the federal government has bankrupt, this is the end of Edo State, everybody should go, Edo State is over? Why don't we consolidate on our existing revenue generating beings? Whether we like it or not, no matter the projection that we are trying to project, the Board of Internal Revenue is making the citizen dry. Taxes has been increased. Whereas, when taxes is reduced, certainly, so many persons who want to come and pay, get involved in our activities. But when you are not saying every store must pay 100,000, therefore, because you want to meet up with the revenue generation unit of the state, believe you me, you are already creating a problem and also placing an excruciating economic situation on the citizenry. So all revenue generating units must also be activated again and again. A classical example is still in the Edo GIS. I said it before now and I'm going to repeat it again. Edo GIS has the capacity whatsoever to fund at least 7 to 8% of the Edo budget. Edo GIS has the capacity of generating 3 billion naira in a month. In a month, 3 billion in a month. Now, when you talk about resources are numerous. But Nigeria will always focus on the crude oil. But let's be sincere. We are blessed virtually with everything, including land. If Japanese, those in the Asia Minor, who don't have access to land, water, they have water everywhere, can still choose to say they will develop. What about those of us who have access to land? What is stopping us from harnessing these potentials? Some person will say, yeah, may the suffer your land will finish, your land will finish. No. Let me correct one part as far as this is concerned. You know, where we are concentrating on is where you have activities. When you want to travel from Benin City to Edo Central, when you leave from the bypass, you are going to see bushes before you get to another activity in Edo Central. A classical example is the Musali University. You now see buildings surrounding such. Go to where you have banks and others in Uromi, elsewhere in the Edo Centrals. People concentrate there because of the activities going on in those areas. Then when you leave Edo Central, you're going to Edo North. Before you get to Ekwa, Uchakwe, and the others, you are going to see series of bushes before you get to Edo North. When you are in Edo North in the Afema part, you want to go back now to the likes of Akoko, Edo, and you are still going to see bushes. You are still going to see bushes everywhere before you get to Akoko. What about if you are going to Okpebholo? You are still going to see bushes everywhere before you get to those destinations. I'm going to speak as a champion today. I'm not going to play politics. I'm going to tell you the way it is. Now, when you truly have development, let me give a classical example. Citing just Guinness Nigerian PLC, an industry that is synonymous with the Guinness Nigerian PLC, in the middle of, between Auchi to Akoko Edo, believe you me, it's going to track development to that particular bush. Because staffs are going to come in, people are going to sell. Before you begin to know it, people begin to develop. A classical example is what is happening today in Overton. I went to go and do a CFO and site investigation. You know, as a professional, we don't advertise survey. We went there, go and look, just because of the speculation that the seaport in Gelegele will be developed. Go and check if you still see land in Gelegele. As far as Gelegele, go and check if you still see a free land in Gelegele along the major road up to Overton. Because of the speculation that yes, development is coming to this place, seaport. Everybody wants to have access to land in those areas, owing to the fact that when seaport actually commenced, the land, even if not developed, can also serve as a revenue generating base to such investors. So when you have activities in those areas, it helps to actually attract development. So if government must actually increase their revenue generating base, we must do the needful to ensure that we do not leave any stone unturned. Reach out to those areas where this infrastructure is supposed to be established. Government reserve the right whatsoever to also generate revenue. But what I see today in those states is that because of the largeness of the federal allocation, they no longer care about fixing Edo. All we are discussing now is 2027, 2027, 2027. Now, I won't blame you. But the problem in our society is this. Politicians always think of the next election, they don't think of development. Why an average citizen is saying, I pray to God in Jesus' name, give me light, for government to give us light, road, and water. I also pray to God for God to guide me to see tomorrow. Politician believes that it's their right to live, that it is their right to life. Why an average citizen is thinking of light, road, and electricity, politician is thinking of the next election. That's why when you see an election is done today and the result is declared, a politician who lost in the election, either through manipulation or whatsoever, the first thing you hear from him is that if you try what you tried now in 2027, without even thinking that he or she may or may not live up to 2027. So I think we must first of all concentrate more on the development of Edo. Ensure revenue generating units. Proper revenue generating unit, not illicit one. Whether we like it or not, there is a reformed revenue generating unit in Edo State as channeled by the former governor of Edo State, His Excellency Governor Obaseki. Even if I have my personal reservation, I've said this before now. I'm not against Obaseki in respect to development. I'm against it for my personal reasons. It is purely personal. I won't change that and I will not shy away from that. But I have already decided to drop that, owing to the fact that those who actually gave me the support that I'm enjoying today said, drop it. And I have no other option because I said on the media space publicly in the past while Obaseki was in government, I said if those who continue to support me say, hey, don't follow Obaseki again, I will stop. So I respect them more than any government anywhere in Nigeria or in Edo State. Now who they make you see light, now you they don't follow. So that is that. So the revenue generating unit, government must also. Now you look at today, we also have, excuse me. Okay. Now, because before I came out on this live video, I created an outline on what and what to be discussed. Now, let's look at the city management under Okpebholo's administration. The city management. Your Excellency, city management is gradually falling. It's a fact. But you know one thing that I've noticed as far as Edo or politics is concerned, people tend to live in full paradise where sycophant is based, where sycophant continue to celebrate mediocrity. Nobody will be willing to tell the government of the truth because they don't want to be in the back book of the back book of the government. All they want to do is Your Excellency, all is well, all is well, all is well. Whereas literally all is not well. Please share this video if you have not shared. Because I want you to get to the governor of Edo State. Now, as of today, the city management is gradually becoming so porous. When Okpebholo assumed power, the first road that was constructed or that was addressed was the Upper Mission Extension down to Aduawa. As we speak, go and see that road. Ordinarily, I'm supposed to take my camera to show that road, but I refuse to do that because of my personal reasons. But go there and see that particular road. It was constructed according to a state government. But go and check what is happening on that road. So I think we should concentrate more on redevelopment instead of superficial development, just to do it or please the people or make them feel that we are truly sincere. But ordinarily, from our heart, it is purely different from what we are showing to members of the public. Then city management continues. If you go to developed world, a classical example is the United States of America. They got their independence in 1776. They faced the same challenges that we are facing now. But the truth of the matter is the discrepancy between us and the Americans is that our challenges continue to linger without looking for a way, a manner to actually address those challenges. Ours still remain. Nigeria celebrated series of years, it's about 65 if I'm not mistaken. And to date, we are still saying Nigeria is young, Nigeria is young. Now go to the United States of America. The United States of America, when we were developing, they got their independence from Britain in 1776. France got their own in 1791. But when they were developing, they all came up with different ideas. That's why professionals like us, we believe in the likes of Le Corbusier. We believe in the likes of Clarence Perry. Clarence Perry came up with the developmental idea of the United States, which is the neighborhood concept. In the 1920s, the neighborhood concept. He said all area must be developed with arterial and local access road. And also, there should be a corner shop so that people can move directly to have access public facilities within a walking distance. I'll give you a classical example. In Britain, France, America, or elsewhere in any of this developed world, you do not need to leave Igbo community that I'm staying now, which is normally a suburban area, if not because of growth of conurbation. These areas are supposed to be a suburban area. You are not supposed to live here to go to Ring Road because you want to access medical facilities at specialist hospital. What you have in specialist hospital is also supposed to be established in every of these healthcare centers. But as of today, when anybody is sick, want to access specialist hospital. In fact, if you go to specialist hospital, because when I was attacked as at then, which was August 1st, my eardrum, I will post it now because I'm already okay. There was 2 holes in my eardrum. When I was telling, because I was not able to actually explain what happened to me as I did. But those who knew know that I was very, very lucky to still be alive. And I want to commend those in the diaspora, most of them, those who were from my Edo community, who called those, they called their community members and said, "Una no know Sakurabudi." And I will also commend the community. That's not the truth. Because they thought that we came as a missionary to fight for the other community, not knowing that we came there to do a CFO. And the truth is, the land that we went to go and do a CFO on is a dispute. We never knew. If I was privy to that, why would I go to an area? Even if I want to go to a land that is privy to dispute, I will be aware that this land has a dispute. I will have to reach out to the neighboring community to say, we are coming here to do so and so. So we have the ability to actually negotiate. So on getting there, the attack, believe you me, I received more than 200 wipes of class. Today, I still have the marks on my hand. So I said, let me go to specialist hospital. Actually, the first time I went to go and check if there is anything affecting my brain. I went to do a scan, and thank God, the result, only the scan, I know how much I spent. Thank God, the result was very okay, and I was certified to be 100% okay as far as my memory and everything is concerned. So what I was now having is, because I was hearing noise, when this ear is connected, very, very connected. Because of the hole in my eardrum, I was hearing series of noise. I almost lost my life one night because I'm a very emotional person. It was my wife who was the nurse that going to advise me. Now say I cannot pick up with this kind of noise. I'll post my eardrum very soon. I still have them. But I choose not to post it before now because I needed to be okay first. But thank God I'm okay and I'm fit to continue my work. On getting to specialist hospital, believe me, for good 3 days, I was not able to have access to doctor specialist. Not because of the fact that doctors were not there, but the only endorsement is there for treatment. I have to seek for medical practitioner from the private sector. Thank God, at the end of the day. So if actually development is the focal point of government, I will not also lay this blame on Okpebholo alone to say Okpebholo should come and do all this within a year. Ordinarily, the government must have a blueprint and a focus on saying this and this is what we are supposed to be achieving. Not just to wake up in the morning to say, okay, let's go and do this, let's go and do that, let's go and do it. Everything must be done in line with appropriation. In line with appropriation. You can't just wake up and think, say, let's go. So there must be a blueprint, a sequence of steps. That's why they said planning or standard. Let's use standard first. Standard and normative concept that specified what ought to be done. Planning also is a series of mechanisms put on ground to achieve a stated goal through establishment of proper aim and also the process of achieving that which is the objective. So a man who fails to plan, trust me, is also planning to fail. So as a development expert, I am advising the Edo State government to immediately look into this, because we'll still discussing more on city management. Now go to Ring Road. Go to Third Junction. You see the way vehicular traffic, they are moving anyhow, haphazardly, as if they are not government in this state. This is not to say that we should go and commission some group of recalcitrants to begin to beat people on the road, all in the bid to sanitize the system. No. There are built-in mechanisms that must be put on ground to be able to achieve all that. If you have not shared this video, please share. If you have not shared this video, please share, so that it can get to the hands of the Edo State government. You know, I won't also deceive you. I am Mr. Fence. That is what I'm putting for you. I choose my agenda. You know, in the past, people thought that, this one is working for APC, it is working for PDP. Yes, it is true that after election, we face governance. I cannot see A and call it B. That's true about me. I cannot see. I was born and brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, even if I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness. Not because of the fact that Jehovah's Witness did not meet up to expectation. It's because of the fact that I also did not meet up to expectation. But I've already gotten the Bible trained conscience for long. It's very, very difficult for me to just see A and I'll call it B. And just to make some clarification. Sorry, don't be angry. I'm using eyeglass to speak, not because I love to wear eyeglass. You can see swell on my eyes, so I'm just keeping it off the media space. So that's why I'm using this glass. It's not as if I want to show say a year glass. No, get it clear. I'm clarifying that. Now, ordinarily, every of these infrastructure should be sited along walking distance. When you talk about convenience and comfort, I'll give you a classical example of my professional definition of what town planning is all about. As a town planner, it's simply the art and science of ordering the use of land. It was explained by Lewis Kibu. It's simply the art and science of ordering the use of land and its characters for siting of buildings, communication routes, so as to secure the maximum practicable degree of economic convenience and beauty. So physical planning must also put into consideration economy, convenience, and beauty. Professionally, we call it beauty aesthetically pleasing and functional environment. What is functional environment? As we speak today, Abuja is not a functional city. No matter the level of aesthetic you have in Abuja, it's not a functional city. How do I mean? How many houses in Abuja can be rented by Abuja populace? Go and check your brothers and sisters who live in Abuja. If you are not a minister, if you are not a commissioner or whatever, you are going to stay in either Lugbe, Gwagwalada. You can access those houses in Abuja, but a true functional city must put into consideration the economy, the convenience of the citizen before even looking at the aesthetic. So, like in the case of Edo, I think the government needs to look at all this. So, the city management includes, but not limited to, managing affairs within the ring road axis, within the third axis, and don't also forget where we call the Benin is specifically ring road. The second Benin is New Benin. Those of us staying in this other area, we are not staying in Benin. But because of growth of conurbation, a man who stays after the bypass will say, I did Benin. No. And again, a time is coming, I'm going to explain the principle of central place theory. I will explain that, but certainly not today. But I will give a hint on it. Now, you agree to the fact that the central business district of Edo State is a ring road. Are you also aware that that has changed? When city continue to expand, when city continue to develop, both in population and otherwise, it gives room for growth of conurbation. That's why today it is difficult for you to separate Ogun State from Lagos. It gives room for growth of conurbation. Then, when the city continue to expand, people tend to look for an alternative means in assessing activities. In terms, when we talk activity in terms of environmental development, we are talking about where you have infrastructure. Now, like Ring Road today, before now, those of us who live in Okpebholo want to do everything humanly possible to visit Ring Road. You want to buy just t-shirt, you go to Ring Road. You want to buy jeans, you go to Ring Road. You want to buy this, you go to Ring Road. Now, but city expansion, people are not staying in Atuan. People are not staying in, as far as Ekoeniro, Ekoenuwaya. People are not staying in Ugonoba. You don't expect somebody to leave Ugonoba to say wants to go and have access to something in Ring Road. Hence, the need for the development of Ramat Park. That's why today, you are now having a second central business district at Ramat Park axis. And that is why some of us who are professional is clapping and lauding the flyover development, because that alone will also continue to consolidate on the development of that area. Now, a time is coming. Development will leave Ramat Park also to a place closer to those going to extend the city. From there, development will continue to attract more in this land where you have core activities. So Edo State government must do everything humanly possible to follow the blueprint, the national fiscal plan, regardless of political affiliation. Sorry, the state fiscal plan, regardless of political affiliation, whether it was Obaseki that brought it, whether it was not Obaseki that brought it, you must jettison that and follow it if actually the development of Edo State is your priority. All right. Now let me go to other segment. Now, Edo is engulfed more on politics than development. We are still listening to this from the Bush Telegraph. Adam Oshomole is vying to return to the Senate, and get it very clearly. Edo North can never be ungrateful to Adam Oshomole no matter what. So those who are already fighting him, because they believe that if Adam Oshomole gets to the Senate again, he may seek to become the Senate president. Okpabholo has already started fighting Oshomole. That's a fact. Because of the fight, Edo is gradually derailing from development to 2027 political goal, 2.5 million promised votes. But I think we should jettison that, throw that into the trash can of history. If government truly is moving on the right track, 2.5 million votes is even too small for people to generate. So I think we should focus more on development instead of this unnecessary politics. Because for now, believe this fact, Edo started 2027 politics even before Tinubu that is contesting. You could also recall that the presidency in the past, like about early this year, told politicians to stop campaigning. And it was directed to Edo. There are timetables to this. If you must go and do politics, there are timetables where INEC will tell you you have a right to now go and campaign. But what we see today, whether you like it or not, politicians have already started campaigning. They have started. I will not also blame Senator Okpebholo if he chooses to campaign now, because campaigning is still going on from PDP perspective, ably led by His Excellency, the former governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki. There's campaign going on. Who wants to own the voice of 2027 has started? And to actually get this, you must first of all control diaspora. If you don't lay hold on diaspora, forget it. Diaspora decides who wins Edo election. They decide who won the election in Edo State in this last election, apart from the decision that came from INEC. I have no right whatsoever to say it's on the contrary because the court has spoken. But we all knew what actually happened. So the campaign has already started. Who will control the soul of diaspora has started. So when they lay hold on that, diaspora will not direct their family at home. Let's take a classical example. No matter how strong Osanokuni will claim to be, diaspora will control me. I don't lie you. I did not came out to come and apologize because I love to apologize. No. I apologized because I needed to apologize. Because the voice is coming from where I think I'm a coordinator general. You must, and I have to. So, I think we should also look at that. Nonetheless, it's not all about criticizing government. We also set an agenda. Now, let me ask the level of appointment by the Edo State government. The level of appointment by the Edo State government. Is the appointment made for the sole purpose of political gratification or for the development of Edo State? Those persons who are saddled with responsibility to manage each sectors or ministry, parastatals, boards, and the case may be, are they truly competent to manage those areas, or they have been appointed because they've done one thing in the past, this, that needed to be gratified politically? These are things we need to ask, because before a government can truly succeed, it must operate on the basis of merit. Let me recapitulate. Before a government can truly succeed, they must be willing to operate on the basis of merit. Because with what I've noticed, it is more of me, you did it, me, you did it, you did it. It ought not to be so. Get it very clearly. I will not play politics with the development of Edo State. I'm only here to give an advisory role and to also make it very clear. If Edo is good, it's for you and I. If it is bad, it's also for you and I. I, for one, as Osakunokuni, it will be very difficult. I can't support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I can't. So count me out from anything that has to do with your Progressive Congress. Count me out. But you know what? I will say it the way it is. I have cut my ties. No more emotional attachment. And I'm going to own up today. So help me God. I am the political Mr. Fence man. Whenever you want to make a comment on my post, add Mr. Fence to it. I also agree that I'm not here. I am not here. I'm going to stand at the middle. When it is right, I will tell you what is going on is right. And when it is wrong, I will say what is going on now is totally wrong and it's unacceptable. Now, let's set an agenda. Edo State government must make these factors priority. 1, land security. With the press release released today, which simply means that Edo State government has the capacity to defend its own land. Obaseki did well in land reform. You can't change that fact. And I will give you the trick. It was a trick. A very wise, intelligent trick. Obaseki, before Obaseki came on board, even the former deputy governor applied for a CFO, he didn't get it. Before Obaseki came on board. Under Oshobole's government, his own deputy did not get a CFO. It was purely analog. And in some cases, where you have access to CFO under Oshobole's administration, Two persons may have a CFO on one land, like it happens in Obage Nebusa community. But when Obaseki came on board, he said no. And he refined and reformed the land sector by now breaking out from Ministry of Physical Planning, from EDPA and others. You remember EDPA? To establish the Edo Geographic Information System, which uses more or less a remote sensing technique in identifying land-related matters. GIS. Now, what was the trick? After the deployment of true technology, get it clearly, under this administration, today under Okpebholo administration, or even under Obaseki administration, the foundation that has been laid, that is being consolidated on right now. Believe you me, you can't get 2 CFO on one land. It's not possible. Obaseki starved the court from having access to such litigation. It's more or less like your phone. You put in your phone number. I say, Mr. Uyu Kunz, give me your phone number. Uyu Kunz must say, take 080. I type it on my phone. And at the end of the day, I wanted to call Mr. Uyu Kunz. I save it with another name. I'm not aware of the name that I use. How will I do this now? When I see Mr. Uyu Kunz, I say, Uyu Kunz, please give me your number. I want to know the name I used to save it. When Uyu Kunz gives me the number, I put it on my phone. The name and everything in the phone will show. That is the same way GIS is operating. Your survey have a coordinate. And for those who may not understand, let me give you this. Some of you can see your land anywhere you are in the world today. Take your survey coordinate. Put it in your Google It. Just drop your coordinate. Anywhere you are in the world, you will see your land. Anywhere you are in the world, just take your coordinate. You see that your survey, what you do? Carry the coordinate, put up. You there, America. Put your coordinate for inside your Google It. Put them inside. It will drive you directly. Bam, you just see that your land. That's the technology currently going on. That was one. And secondly, the government immediately reduced the cost. Rat, rabbit, lizard, war gecko, like we were able to also apply for CFO and get. Where I'm staying, I have a CFO. I have no property anywhere that I don't have a CFO. Now, because the price reduced drastically, everybody, hey, I want to know, deliver to know. The revenue now warfare where government under Obaseki generate now block. If me or Sakonoko did not attract money to Edo G's, it's more than 2 billion. Single-handedly from my own angle. No talk of other people who is here. So, when you tell where they do payments for payment session, you're tired now. You don't reach your turn. And again, the government of Obaseki carry chairs down. As they carry chairs down, forget say at the first of Obaseki, but I'll talk the truth. The first of Obaseki, na personal one. He illustrated me. Now they complain for. Not be say another thing. He carry chairs there. He carry chairs down. He go read down 1, 2, 3. He go read everything. He go sign. He go read. 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 He go sign. Who pay for? Get. Go rush go do another one. But who pay for not get no do again now? we are setting an agenda. The government must immediately look into if government can secure their own land, just like they did in the press conference they released today. Cities do not get power to secure their land directly now. Not say they don't get power. If citizens want secure their land outside documentation, they'll take law into their hand. You're surprised at the end of the day, the person will say want secure land will go prison. So because of that, they actually needed their documents to secure what rightfully belongs to them. Let me take an example. Anywhere I get anything today as property, go enter now. Even if government want to revoke it tomorrow for overriding public interest, in line with the Town Country Planning Ordinance of 1946, the Land Use Act of 1978, or the Town Country Planning Ordinance Capacity side of those states, I must be adequately compensated. I must be adequately compensated. It is the law. So, the government must, as a matter of urgency, ensure land reform. Edojis should be empowered. I won't deceive you. Go to Edojis today. It has been upgraded. All activity is working. What is remaining is the CFO in itself, which is the last document. When you go there now, you can check. That's why I always advise people. Not say because government never decides CFO, you leave your land like that. There are people that have gotten offer. If they wait. If another person got that land, one go to CFO. He go show say, Mr. Philip, Mr. Uyi Okuns, or Marvel Kion already has an application on this land. We cannot give you CFO. Government will not even give Phil again. Definitely, they are going to resort back to the community. Let's take an example. I want to buy a land. On getting to the site, they say this is the land. I go, okay, no worry. I will buy and add their land the site to say fine. It makes sense. Because I'm going to hold it, come help me to check this land. I go there. I check them. I come see and say, this land actually belongs to Mr. Uyi Okuns has an application on this land. I give the report. Then, the man who wants to sell the land to my client is Mr. Festus. You will now ask, Mr. Festus, how come you want to sell a land that is carrying an application of Mr. Uyi Okuns when you are Mr. Festus? He will tell you that my brother and I'm selling, I say, I sell, no worry, no worry, no put on, no worry, no worry. Can I see him? Hey, not there around, run. There are cases where they will still deceive you. They will say, yes, now maybe Uyi Okuns, I mean one seller. Tell him to go and give you his national ID card you want to see. The bank, are they giving an expo now? Not to say tomorrow you say you see get land problem. Tell the person who wants to sell the land, who is claiming to be Mr. Uyi Okuns. Tell him to show you his international passport. Make you see the name where he carry there. Because they can still also generate community approval to sell that land for you. He will carry the name, will get application. But you as a wise man, where your money hard to get, request for the international passport. Land for you, if they're not fit bring up, not bad. Secure yourself. So the government, please let them have access to these documents. That's the only way they can also secure themselves. And let me also add this to it. The first thing the judge will ask in court as evidence is your survey plan. Have you surveyed your property? You live on there. So you know where they wait, when they start, when they don't start, you leave your property. When they go to check your property, there are no application, nothing is on it. They will buy. After all, you are not an indigene, is not an indigene. Both of you came to develop. So what do you make you think, say, now who said for you now be the real person we say? It is subjected to litigation. You may even lose in court. Ensure your security by doing everything humanly possible to have an application on it. And from the part of the state government, we are setting an agenda. You must, as a matter of urgency, reform and endeavor to give people access to this document. That's the only panacea for them to actually secure what rightfully belongs to them. And I will tell you this for free. 2027 politics has started in the hands of politicians, but the first place you are going to, where will the challenges will be, is those in the diaspora. What they need from you, that those in the diasporas are not poor. They are not hungry. Unlike us that are hungry. They are not. Just give them their share of food. That's the only anger in the diaspora. I'm telling you for free. Let them have access to this document. That's one. The second agenda to be set, revenue generation. We cannot say because federal government is bringing huge amount of money. What's the value of money as of today? A man sent $200 from abroad for his family to feed in 2016. And today he's still selling the same $400 in 2025, which may not triple itself. The person will tell you, Mama can sell with $200 a day. What is the value for this money? They have never increased the money there to say we are not increasing it from $200. They are still selling $200, but it's now it's becoming so bigger without value. So even if the federal government is giving you 90 billion, it's more or less as worthless as a $500. You must build your economic base by ensuring proper revenue generation through legal means. And there is already a reform process on ground where government receive local revenue through the use of POS. And a classical example is what was established by the Obaseki administration. And I will also add part of this revenue that the government of Edo State must also jettison politics. Leave the fight to say, now you get this position, I get this position. No. Government is continuum. I've already stated it before now. I'm going to say it again. I said part of the problem militating against Nigeria is one, lack of sagacious political leader. Two, non-enlightened and egalitarian citizen. I will explain this. Non-enlightened and egalitarian citizen. We have citizens that are not enlightened. And we don't believe in the principle of equality. And because they are not enlightened in totality, some may even think that they are enlightened because they can talk very well. But go and check their ability to process information, their mental capacity is very low. Majority of them attach love, sentiment over real governance. And that's the challenge. One, lack of sagacious political leader. Two, non-enlightened and egalitarian citizenry. Three, ineffective legal machinery. Four, corruption and fund misappropriation. Five, lack of consistency in policy implementation by successive administration or regime. Six, no human development index. Those are part of the problem militating against us. And look at it. Where I want to draw the attention of the Edo State government is lack of consistency in policy implementation by successive administration or regime. Now we have projects already on ground. We have the previous administrations are guilty of this. I will only single Obaseki out that is not guilty of this in the sense that Obaseki immediately, those properties like that of those left by Dr. Samuel Okpebholo in the Edo ministry, Obaseki went there. Adam Oshola was there. He didn't refurbish any of this. But Obaseki went there immediately, refurbishes them, rebuilt the ministry, reconstructed new ones where necessary for us to have a beautiful edifice as far as civil service is concerned. Go and get it clearly. Obaseki, because of the implementation of the fiscal planning law, the EJ, like the Urban Regional Planning Law Decree number 88 of 1992, and the Town Country Planning Ordinance Cap 165 of 1976 Edo State. Go and check the resultant effect. More revenue came from Ministry of Fiscal Planning. That is the same revenue we are enjoying today. It was built and it be totally established because of the idea created by that administration. Adam Oshomole administration actually jettisoned many of the projects built by previous administration. So I will advise Senator Monday Okpebholo, let nobody drag in this unnecessary politics into it. Anywhere they stop, build on them and establish a new one. After all, the end result is going to be the development of Edo. I've been to a series of states in Nigeria. I have not left Nigeria, apart from the last time that I've left from Benin to Benin Republic and to some part of Ghana. I've not traveled out of the country. So at times, I may not understand what true development is all about in terms of, because what we have as professional developers is what we, what we saw on the board, and the development of some cities like Afowa and others in Edo North while we were still a student in the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, Auchi Protected. So we understand the nitty-gritties of city development. But for true, we talked about lack of consistency in policy implementation by successive administration of the regime. If this is followed stricto sensu, at the end of the day, we will be surprised that it will become a better place. We've traveled out of this part of this state. I will tell you for free, Edo is the least developed state. When they say Nigeria are not developed, now because you did Edo state, just go Imo state. Go Anambra. Go Rivers State. Leave those that can, those are too big. Government is not working in Edo state, that's the truth. But people go, when you talk, they'll use sentiment. I will not also lay the total blame on Okpebholo because it's just 1 year. But make it 3 years, we could see how far. But I think we needed to do this thing and to tell him to quickly make his focus his focal point. Somebody called me now. Puyo Sagbonze. So if you travel come over Nigeria, you the cause government. So you did say Nigeria the government. What you did? He said if you travel come over Nigeria, you the cause government. Excuse me. You see Kuzuafa? Okay. Carry. What you say never do? What be that? At the Edo City. I not feel wait again. I tell them make carry and call. Make them come to tell I do everything. They make carry and come. May you call these people for yes, send money give them. I'll tell my mechanic they do all of them. I want to use that to start work on Monday. Call them. Tell them. Say me call them. Make them meet them. They busy. So I think very sorry for that. In fact, now my healers, now you get fault that they repair it over a year plus. Thank God you don't see light. Now one day, they suffer, they go bush as a laborer. So I think as I've been able to exhaust more of these details, Edo belongs to us all. We must say the way it is. We will not bend it. And come stand yourselves as I couldn't put it. By the grace of God, the sea of woman Edo State, the coordinator general, Edo Diaspora Connect worldwide. Thank you and bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Comrade Stanley Osazo Sakwunokwudi. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.